Hey guys, what's up? So today in this video, let's talk about jigs. So there's three main rods that I throw jigs on. First one is it's a fluorocarbon rod. It's a 7-foot medium heavy. It's kind of a mag medium heavy though. It's kind of between a medium heavy and a heavy. But I keep 17-pound fluorocarbon on that with a 7:2-to-1 gear ratio reel. All of my reels on my jigs are 7:2-to-1s. Just because if I happen to be around cover, I want to be able to get those fish out, and also if for some reason I have to burn my jig back in and flip to a spot, I have the speed gear ratio to do that. And also it's very good for any time I'm fishing a bait where I'm dragging, I have to pick up line real quick. I use that 7:2-to-1, 7:4-to-1. If you haven't seen my gear ratio video, go ahead. I'll link that up in the cards. Go ahead and watch that video after this one. I'll leave it at the end of this video in the end screen so you can go to that video real quick after this one. And it's a lot of good knowledge that you can take and apply it, because a lot of people don't know what those numbers actually mean. And it's real simple if you just know what those mean. So go ahead and check out that video. That first one I use for 3/8 ounce jigs to 1/2 ounce jigs and anything lower than that. I usually just keep 3/8 and 1/2 ounce in my box. If I have to go up to a 3/4, that's my football jigs and stuff like that. My next one, hopefully I can get the new Curado K on this rod. I got a 7.2 heavy action rod. Actually, let me correct myself. 7-foot medium heavy power fast action. So I'll make a video on that actually, because it's a medium heavy power and the actions are how much tip you got. Some of you guys already know all this stuff and you're just like, I already know this kid, but some people don't know it. But some people might just need a refresher. I keep 20-pound fluorocarbon on that one, just because that's my lighter flipping main jig rod right there. Yeah, 7-speed reel. Then this is my flipping. I can do everything with this rod right here for big baits, except probably throw a Huddleston, honestly. I can throw frogs, I could flip on this rod, fish jigs, Carolina rigs. I could fish football jigs on it, fish deep with it. Big worms, anything like that. I keep 50-pound braid on this rod. 7:2-to-1 gear ratio reel. This is a Shimano Curado 200i. Hopefully I can get a Curado K. I really want to see how that one is different from this one. This was my first big purchase. Actually, not purchase, but first big deal reel. You know what I mean? This was 180 bucks. That might not seem like a lot to some people, but to me, that's a pretty expensive reel. And I'm just excited to have this reel in my rod locker to fish. I can honestly, if I keep up with this reel, I could fish for the rest of my life, honestly. I have a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader to braid on here, and I'm fishing a 1/2 ounce jig. And this right here is just a workhorse. You could fish anything with it. So let's talk about jig trailers. And we're going to have to go in my trailers bag here. There's two trailers I mainly like to use. I use we'll talk brands, Zoom Fat Albert Twin Tail Grub. Green pumpkin, and I go to black and blue. Blueberry, that's a good one. That's basically a black and blue. But this is a subtle jig trailer. Doesn't have much action, but it still gives just a little bit. If I'm fishing like really, really cold water, if it's down in the low 40s, I might need to get something a little bit less vibration. But 55, honestly 50 and above, I can throw this. But once that water warms up really good and those bass get moving and you see those male bass cruising the banks, the spawn is about to set up and those fish are moving up. Some already on beds. Let me find it here. Ultrarod speed crawl, but I also like for a beaver style trailer. I like well, that's not it. That's the big size, but the junior version in the Zoom Z-Crawl. That's a good jig trailer to me. I could swim it. I could flip it. Here it is, just a perfect jig trailer. If you're going up to a bigger jig, like a flipping jig, that trailer adds weight, so I might stay down to the junior. But if I'm going for big fish, which honestly I always am, but I'll go with that big one right there. I'll also flip this on a Texas rig too, a peg Texas rig. Those are two of my favorites. I'll fish some other ones, but mainly that's the ones you'll see on the back of my jigs. Even with this one right here, I have a green pumpkin on a black and blue jig, twin tail grub right there. Because the water's not really warm at where I am, but it's not also really cold. So I'm in the best both worlds right now. It's not really hot, and it's not really cold. So we're kind of like in that staging up to spawn time. The bass lake that I fish, it's a good bass lake, and I really can't find them. I really haven't gone at the time of the spawn, but I really couldn't find any bass. You really couldn't find them on beds. If you go back in like really shallow water, clear water, usually it's a little bit stained, but it's kind of dingy water, you just really can't see them. You just gotta have really good polarized sunglasses, and the water has to be a good day. But what I really wanted to show you for the last of this video is the back of this jig. This is a Dirty Jigs. It's a good looking color too. This is I think Bruiser Flash or something like that. I think that might be the jig trailer color, but I've got a Missile Baits Crawfather. Yeah, John Crews Missile Baits. Everywhere you go, tackle shops, Missile Baits is there. I really just wanted to show y'all jig trailers, rods, line, stuff like that. Jigs, I'll fish any kind of jig with an Arky style head. I'll fish any kind of jig. Dirty Jigs is a good pitching jig from Dirty Jigs is a good one. I fish a lot of homemade jigs that are down here at the tackle shop where I live, and I fish those a lot. Either that or Dirty Jigs or a Strike King Hack Attack jig if I'm flipping. That's pretty much all I fish. Yeah, guys, I've been trying to make a jig video for a while. That's my first one, really. I think I had one other jig fishing video talking about it, not actually fishing it. I caught my personal best on a jig, and ever since I've just loved fishing jigs, and I love the concept. Fishing those big rods and that big heavy line and those fast gear ratio reels going down the bank fishing a jig there's really nothing like it once you get that bite. You jig fishermen know what I'm talking about. Sometimes they just slurp it up, or sometimes they just absolutely hammer shank it. But yeah, it just gotta experience it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any other questions about jig fishing or bass fishing in general, leave that down in the comment section below. I'll sure to get back to you on that. And like this video, give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for outdoor fishing and hunting action. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Catch you later.